it's Scott here with United Agrivoltaics. Today we're going to be talking about mushrooms on solar. All right, here we go. So we're going to be getting started with this project here in the next few weeks. And I want to give you a little bit of an idea of where we're at. So this is a fixed tilt site. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of shade. The sheep have done a really nice job with this project so far, kind of keeping it managed and maintained. So what we're going to do is we're going to take about 300 feet of this. We're going to put some landscape fabric down. We're going to put some wood chips down. And then we're going to put our mushroom logs here underneath the along these drip lines. So as you can see here, there's drip lines all along right here, and also going this way as well. So if we can just set the logs down here along those drip lines, they should be getting enough moisture. Also, there's about 80% shade on this site, which is just about perfect for the mushrooms. So hopefully we'll be able to get a good crop of mushrooms going on. We're gonna try shiitake mushrooms. Out here in the Finger Lakes, under the same sun that powers our farm, we're growing something a little different. Shiitake mushrooms. Not just any mushrooms. These are oak log grown outdoor solar powered shiitakes. The question is, how much food can 300 logs really produce? And could this be a model for small farms like ours on solar? All right, so you'll see out here we've placed about 300 linear feet of wood chips down underneath the solar panels. I mean, the company's already paying us to maintain the solar site, so adding wood chips under the panels only just makes it a little easier for us. This can be a pretty inexpensive way to maintain the vegetation beneath the panels, but it can also really help when you're doing the mushroom logs in terms of maintenance long term. So what we're doing is we've got the mushroom logs here, and we're trying to set them up along the drip lines. We're trying to maximize the amount of space that we get from these drip lines here. So you'll see right here where the panels connect. All the water sheds down from here. It hits here, and you'll see this is kind of why this is a little bit mossy right here, because of how much moisture it gets. That water then drops down onto our mushroom logs, and hopefully we'll get a nice crop of mushrooms. We are going to go through after we get these all set up, and we're going to flush them, meaning we're going to like soak them down with water really well, and hope for a little bit of a early fall crop. And we'll keep you guys posted. I'm really thinking, because the shade under here is about 80%, that's going to be quite ideal for these mushrooms. Here we're going to have some shiitake mushrooms. We hope to have a few oyster mushrooms as well. All right, so you might ask yourself, how much money can you actually make with mushroom logs? And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. This is a new endeavor for me, but I know that usually with about 300 oak logs, you could expect between maybe 450 to 1,200 pounds of shiitakes per year, depending on the management. That's between 1 and 4 pounds per log. And oak is one of the best woods for steady production. So a lot of that also comes down to like how frequently your logs are fruiting, whether they're fruiting 3 to 5 times a year. We're going to be mainly focusing on a spring and a fall fruiting. And we're going to just kind of hybridize our forced soaks a little bit. But we're not going to try to keep them fruiting for like 6 to 8 weeks. Basically, what we're going to do is just monitor them how they are now, and then we're going to try a few different ways of setting them up and seeing which way actually works the best. And so we've kind of figured out about how many pounds of food we can make, maybe 400 if we're lucky, 1,200 pounds if we're like really working at it. But what does that equate to in terms of actual revenue? And that could be surprising. A lot of times, shiitakes can retail for between $15 and $20 per pound. Sometimes more if maybe they're marketed as like USA solar sourced or solar grown or forest farmed. So this means that 300 logs could potentially bring in between $6,000 and $24,000 per year in retail. That's pretty significant. So we're hoping, we're hoping for a fraction of that. And if we get enough for our kitchen table this go around, that'll be a good start. So whether it's bacon, pasture, or shiitakes on oak logs, Farmstead Solar is about asking the big questions. Can we feed people and power farms at the same time? Hi everyone, just a quick update. Out here kind of in the evening after a quick little rainstorm, just checking up on the mushroom logs to see how we place them and if the water was doing what we were hoping it was going to do. And I always love coming out here in the evening, and I have to admit I was pretty excited to come out and see this. And guys, this is really cool. This little tiny bit of rain that we got really got our logs pretty wet. And it's because all this water from up here down here slid down and landed on our logs, soaking them fairly well through and through. And that's really great because the internal moisture of that log should be about 30%, and we really want to kind of keep it at that. And I think them being in the shade and them kind of getting this rain is really going to help. And as I'm out here thinking about what it is we're doing, producing food, I think back of our own garden and how much I absolutely love our garden and what it means to our family. I mean, my wife has been harvesting, and my kids, the whole family has been harvesting food out of the garden all week. I mean, we're getting potatoes and peas and, multiple varieties of potatoes, actually, corn and peppers, and we're getting tomatoes, and all of this stuff is so cherished by us and by our family. But what's just as equally cherished are those soft, quiet moments of peace and contemplation in the evening in the garden. I'm not sure that there is a more peaceful place on earth than a man's garden in the evening. I mean, especially for us. And this is why I love this lifestyle of farmsteading. And our garden, with the pasture in the background and watching the bluebirds feed their young, it's just a beautiful, peaceful place. Bobwhite quail in the background. And I think about it now, and it reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing here, because ultimately, though I'm surrounded by steel and panels, I'm still producing food. I'm still doing what I love. I'm still farming, and I'm getting paid to do it. And I can't think of a thing to be more excited about. Very excited about this. Super excited that I might be getting some mushrooms here in the near future. We haven't even had a chance to flush these guys, and it seems like Mother Nature might be doing that for us. Even better than, if they were just out in that little spritz, in the woods, or if they were out, somewhere else. This is a more ideal environment, I think. And you can see this pattern in the, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but the moisture line right here, it's 18 to 24 inches wide, much wider than I was expecting. And I think that could be because the water droplets are kind of splashing about. We also set our logs vertical, which I'm curious to see how that works. Again, it's not something that I've seen done before, but I know that the water's gonna hit the top of that log and then soak down into it. And I wanted to maximize the amount of fruiting logs for a pretty narrow channel here. And then also, I think, as we kind of build and grow this operation, we may try other things. We may find that, to help flush them out, we'll put in maybe a little watering system or something. We already have to come here with watering trucks for the sheep. Wouldn't be a big deal to put up a small irrigation line on top just to manually water them. It also wouldn't be a big deal to just splash some, water from the hose on them either. So anyway, super excited about this short little update in the middle of the video. I'm sure you're going to see pictures of me picking fruit in the near future. But it's just, it's a joy to be sharing this experience with you guys, and looking forward to how this works out, and how much food we can actually get and how much money we can actually make doing it. So look forward to seeing y'all here shortly. All right, guys, here's the moment of truth. I'm just rolling up to our site right now where we have some mushrooms, and it has been raining for the last few days, and I am ever so curious as to what we are going to find here. So I will bring you along the journey. Turn that guy off there. Trusty old truck. Hi everyone, Caleb Scott here with Farmstead Solar, where we believe that solar can be more than just electricity. It can actually provide food as well. And these solar facilities that we love so dearly are changing the way we have thought about our farm, for example. But farmers all across the country are seeing this. And this year, we decided that we were going to try mushrooms in addition to the sheep. The idea being that these solar panels, they provide about 80% shade, which is great for the mushrooms. And then, as you can see right above me here, there is a drip line. And that drip line consolidates where the water falls, and that means that portion of the site is wetter than other portions underneath the panel, and that's good for mushroom logs. At least this was the theory. And so a few days ago, we got some inoculated logs. We put them up. It rained a little. we were hoping, okay, we're going to, you know, soak these logs. We're going to water them down. But you know what? Mother Nature has different plans. And it rained for a couple days. And I gave it about 5 or 6 days before I really wanted to come out, because I wanted to see like just how much was this affecting the production. Could we get away with not having to soak them if they were on wood chips and, you know, in the shade, and having water splashing down on them, you know, in a more concentrated way than maybe just the normal rain would. And we're new to mushrooms, so this is something we don't know much about. I know that, you know, you can get a few pounds of mushrooms potentially per log. We have about 300 logs. And I know that, you know, if you can get $15 or more per pound for outdoor grown oak log mushrooms, then that can be substantial revenue. So we figured we'd give it a shot. We're already getting paid to maintain the vegetation on this site. So essentially putting the wood chips down helps us because it's easier to maintain. You put the fabric down. We used an underlayment fabric that's, you know, that's felt. And then we put the wood chips down on top of that. And we don't assume that the sheep are going to be eating the mushrooms. They have no reason to. And so here we are today, getting ready to show you how well our mushrooms are doing. And as you can tell by my smile, I was surprised when I came here. You know, and I came here after work because I'm excited. And I brought along my little, you know, Hobbit mushroom basket, because why not? Just in case. And that's why we're making this channel of Farmsteading Solar, because when you look at the steel and glass, you can see more through this. I can see in the evenings checking on my sheep, listening to owls who in the distance, watching bats fly around. I can see the same beauty here as I do in my own backyard. Yeah, it looks different, but what is so beautiful is that the land is producing for us. This land is producing electricity, and there's something beautiful about that because we need it. This land is also producing food, and there's something very beautiful about that. And there's something beautiful about the fact that I can create that food. I can make that food. And so, as I think about what it means to have these solar grazing contracts and what it means to farmstead solar, you know, you can look at the good and the bad. Sure, there are days that I do things I don't want to do or that I'd prefer not to do. But then there's times where you get to reap the benefit of your labor. And today is just such a day. I am so excited to share with you guys what we have here, because it wasn't what I was expecting. I was not quite expecting this. We've got mushrooms. And when I say mushrooms, I mean mushrooms. And so we tried a few different ways of setting up the logs. We weren't sure what was going to work. But after the first time I came out during a rainstorm, I realized that there was a big splash zone, even though there was a very narrow slit where the water was coming through. And So we tried laying the logs down, we tried propping them up, we tried putting them upright, and I still think that putting them upright is going to work because you've got the base buried in moist chips and the water falling on the top, and I think that that will hold the mushrooms, but the reaction time was a little bit slower over there. But boy, oh boy, am I excited to pick these mushrooms. I cannot even tell you. I think I need a bigger basket. I need a bigger basket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 logs. That's got to be close to. That's heavy. I'm gonna go back and weigh it, but that's got to weigh 9 pounds. That's crazy. I mean, it's actually, it's like, that's a lot of weight. That's pretty heavy. Wow. I'm gonna need a bigger basket if I got that many off from 9 logs. I've got a lot more. I've got 300 logs to go. And if any of you guys know where what I can do with these mushrooms, hit me up in the comments. All right, guys, so 9 logs, 9 mushroom logs got me this insanely huge haul of mushrooms. And I even kept a lot of the little button mushrooms on a bunch of them just for, so they get bigger. But if you have any tips, how you're growing mushrooms, if you have any good mushroom recipes, hit me up in the comments. And if you know where or any tips on how to sell these locally, let me know as well. How do you preserve them? I'm going to take these home, process them, and come back with a bigger basket and finish this awesome and fun work. Hopefully you guys are entertained. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. And I know for myself, I am going to enjoy these mushrooms. Thanks for watching. Well, folks, that's another day of soaking up the sun and growing those shiitake superstars here at Farmstead Solar. I mean, can you believe that harvest from our first 9 logs? I mean, you're going to see in the video here, they pumped out over 9 pounds of mushrooms. Yeah, I am still picking my jaw up off the floor. Well, if you loved this fungi-filled adventure, then smash that like button and subscribe for more solar-powered shroom shenanigans. Hit the bell so you don't miss a single harvest. And if you've got a mushroom tip or a solar trick, drop it in the comments below. We're all about growing together, and I will see you in the pasture.